For literally ever, gold prospecting and gold mining hasn't changed. Yes, we now fuel our wash plants with liquid dinosaur, but the methods haven't changed at all. And I mean for like 500 years. You've seen the big buddings bucket, but I introduced to you the mini ones. Look at these. And this adorable little tub. So we were using steel buckets and wooden buckets back in the day, and now we have, well, liquid dinosaur tubs. It doesn't change the fact, however, that I'm still using a rocker box. And this is why I love this setup. This is literally all you need. There's nothing that can go wrong. There's no pumps, hoses, petrol. There's nothing that can mechanically, functionally break that you can't replace with a stick. And it's all super light and super easy to clean out. And if you haven't checked, please make sure you're still subscribed to my channel, because YouTube be unsubscribing people without my permissions. And I think that's a bit dastardly. Feet condoms! I like feet condoms. They keep your feet free of stream transmitted leeches. I made a 15-minute long video showing this whole spot, how it works, and what kind of gold is here just the other day. I'll link that in the description below. You should definitely go check it out. But for now, all you really need to see is what kind of gold's here. Look, one day I'll probably throw out a huge nugget, but on Reedy Creek, it's not the place I'm going to throw out a huge nugget. It's a Gadsy! The black sand and the gold in this spot fluctuate a little bit. It's a narrow pay streak, but when you're on it, it is very rich, up to 100 specks a pan. The surface gravels have about 10 in it, so it's still worth processing. It's just not as good as down lower where the clay is. And I haven't even started revealing it back, and you can already see some nice big flakes of gold. Gotta use the rapid tap because that black sand is a mother rudder. That's sort of an average pan. Normally I say I'm gonna try and get 10 buckets done or something today, and then it becomes a struggle. I found if you put a number on it, it gets hard. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna work until I get really tired. That's how much we're gonna do. My new fancy tub's gonna get blessed with a good spot. I spent 40 minutes in Buddings today for this one reason. It's the perfect size. Sometimes it is the size that matters.
Funny though.
Two things, Gadsy. That's a really fast way of classifying dirt. Check out me agate. The best part about classifying rock down like this is you get to look at the rock, and that means sometimes you find treasures.
Treasure!
And on today's treasure, we have this pretty cool looking agate. And Reedy Creek's got some pretty interesting stuff. This rock has a butthole. Get in the pan. And this bucket is 3/4 full in about 4.5 minutes. It's time for the part of the show that you've all been waiting for. How weak is Chris? Ugh. Oh, 26 litres of Reedy Creek tin, Jesus Christ. Oh, so strong. I wash my gold with a ladle on a scoop. I mean a ladle on a stick, not a scoop. You can't have double ladles. That would be unlawful. First bucket done, not including filming time. It took about 12 minutes. That means that I got 8 pans worth of dirt processed through my rocker box in about 1:20 each. Now I'm trying a new carpet in here today, and what I didn't do when I was at home was remove the carpet underneath it. I had my reasons for doing that, and I just don't know if I should keep it like this. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take this blue carpet out. Now this is the problem I'm having, is that the dirt is going underneath it. So instead of it running over the top of this, it's running over both, and that's just, it's not conducive to being productive. Every time I've used that green mat, it's worked really well. I just wanted to see how this went. You got to try these things. I think this is not the spot for mucking around with a different setup at the moment. I had grand ideas, but now that I've seen them in action, I'm thinking, nah, not today. The spot's got a bit too good gold to be fluffing around with that. 70+% of the gold gets caught up here in this top apron before it falls down onto the mat below. Yeah, little bit, not heaps in the bottom mat, so you never see terribly much gold in the matting, even when you do full run and it's chock-a-block full of black sand. The biggest point of contention every time I bring the rocker box out on my channel is this question: Chris, why don't you automate it? Why don't you put a pump on it? If I was going to put a pump on that, I would just bring a high banker out or a trommel. Those are not sluice boxes. They work like pans. And what I mean by that is that a rocker box uses a side-to-side rocking action to agitate the material so that it stratifies. So all the heavy, dense things sink into the matting and all the light things come to the top and shed off. It works exactly like a pan, unlike a sluice box, which uses water and gravity to carry material over high friction zones, and those high friction zones slow the gold down enough for it to drop out of suspension in the water. If you put a pump on that, you would lose gold because there is no high friction zone. I need to create a solid pad. That 40 minutes was well spent. It is so fast to fill this bucket up using that hand classifier. There's 26 litres of dirt per full bucket. But because I'm removing like 75% worth of all the rock from every shovel I put into that bucket through classification, the bucket's not holding 26 litres worth of dirt. It's actually holding probably closer to like 70 litres of dirt, which is a lot, more than I could lift normally. When I said that gold prospecting basically hasn't changed ever, the methods are exactly the same as what they were 500 years ago, just with different materials, I meant it. Like, there are still people using even cruder methods of gold prospecting right now over in places like the Congo. And the reason they use them is because it works. You don't need to get fancy. It's all about scale and how much energy you have. Don't worry about getting the fanciest piece of equipment if you're an amateur hobby prospector like me. Just buy the bit that makes you happy. Go wash rocks. The black sand in this spot is pretty impressive. There is a lot of it in pockets. So I'm very glad I am actually switching to this mat because it doesn't hold that much black sand. It sheds it off quite nicely. Since I last saw you, it's been a few seconds for you, but it's been about an hour for me. I've run 5 buckets total, and Gadsy, why are you so tired?
I've done work and not much return.
Don't do no return work for free.
Ow.
Pro tip. Change this up a little bit because this is soft sand and the rocking action compacts it, and even though I put bigger gravel down, it kept compacting and it wasn't good. Anyway, I found a boulder. This boulder has made a world of difference. It's a retaining wall. I built a thing and now we're going that way. The mat in the rocker box is looking particularly dark, which is good. That means a fair amount of black sand, and along with black sand usually comes gold on Reedy Creek. People will be wondering about tailings. I have done 2 test pans of tailings and I found precisely 0 golds. And the apron is looking interesting. We've got some nice black sand starting to accumulate in it. However, for all of those amazing successes, I can't see any gold in the mat. My test pans show sporadic gold in my spot, and that might be why. We're getting really good pans close to the bottom, close to the bedrock, and we're getting really bad pans anywhere above that. You know you're close to the bottom when you start pulling out really big rocks like this. This is where the gold is. Well, not here, around this, in the creek. It looks like a Dawn of the Apes scene going on right now. Alright, on the exciting new episode of things that Chris wants to know, who shot JFK, actually, and where's the gold? I think we can get answers to one of those questions today. Alright, let's all put our tinfoil hats on for just a minute, right? JFK, we know who they said did it, and then he was immediately killed afterwards. But with all the oil embargoes and, you know, the not wanting to go to war and trying to change the CIA and the Federal Reserve, you would imagine that some people would really want him dead. This has always been the problem with sporadic pay streaks, is that you have to keep test panning. It's where high bankers really excel, because you can just shovel in the overburden very quickly, and it doesn't matter if you kind of overshoot a little bit, because you'll still get the pay streak. Yeah, there's gold in that. Whereas something like rocket boxes have to be a little bit more targeted. The gold is really fine though. So it's there. It's just not like, I get a good pan, then I get a bad pan. It's a mix. I don't know how much gold I'm going to get today. But I mean, like, what would I know? I'm a professional moron. It's the best part about prospecting. Working. My back hurts. I want gold. It's not air conditioned out here. Is that a brown steak I almost stepped on yesterday? Oh, great. Yeah, it was. Were you wearing your pre-shat underwear? No, I wasn't. Did I have to clean that mess up at home? Yes, I did. Was it worth it? Absolutely. I'll be back today. Looky what I have here. Once I learned about this particular rock, I started finding it all over the place here, and it's super cool. Tourmaline inclusions within a quartz crystal. It's not the best one I've ever found, but it's pretty damn cool.
Rock, yeah, sick.
See, that's how you know you're out prospecting with a mate. You just like, look, a rock, and they're like, oh yeah! Look, I'll be honest, I was worried there for a moment, but I did find where the gold's sitting again. So we don't have to worry about getting gold because I found it. Get in the bucket. It is going that way, but it's also going this way, and this way seems to have slightly shallower bedrock, so I'm going that way. Which direction am I heading in, Gadsy? I'm now 7 buckets in and finally starting to see gold in the top apron. The gold on Reedy Creek is typically super fine, so it does tend to sink. That's the typical spec size we're talking about. Tiny, but hey, it's there. And just over here, we got a nice big one. Oh, look at that. That's practically a nugget for Reedy Creek. Well, buddings. Not even one full session and it broke. It's not the attitude I need from you right now. I'm not done digging.
You're not done digging?
No, Mama didn't raise the bitch.
No, alright. Have to make your own
I
hand.
might have a couple of buckets time, I might give up with no handle, but anyway. Hello, heavy thing. Are you like my emotions, too dense to deal with? Oh, I still got one handle. 1.5 handles. Ugh. Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger, eat your heart out. Oh my god.
Come on, you can do it.
No. No. Oh, rubber ducky. It's time to make you lighter. What? What?
No. Oh no.
Did you get one?
I think I did. It's an almost.
Oh, it's a cow agate. This is agate. It's a cowgate.
Cowgate.
That's definitely the best agate today.
Yeah, baby.
That's a good one.
Looking for the agates, so I got them good.
I don't actually know how many buckets I've done today. I think it's in excess of 10 thus far. but I plan on doing more. Hopefully by the end of today, it'll be a good gold take. The gold is here. It's just a thin layer on the bottom though. So I'm dealing with a lot of dilution, and you never know until the gold's in your pan at home. Gadsy has just pulled one of the best pans I've seen on Reedy Creek in probably a number of years. And it's all coming out of this bedrock trench here. Look at that. That is a proper pan, man. That is good sized gold.
I had a tiny little bit from my previous pan,
but most of that came from that one pan. One pan, that'd be probably point 0.2, maybe quarter gram.
I reckon. And it came from, see this? You can see that little pinch.
Yep.
Crevice.
Right where it concentrates, man. Yeah, you got to get down there and clean the rest of that out. That is what I love about Reedy Creek. People don't understand that you can just get, literally I've seen people pull over an ounce a day just panning, and they're the sort of pans that it takes to get that. They're here, just got to look for them. Senor Sweatpants is still on the very good gold over there, and I have run my last bucket. I have taken dirt from here all the way down to there, about a 3.5 maybe 4 meter length, at about 2 feet wide for the entire length and about 2 feet deep. So that's a lot of soil that I've moved through this little rocker box. Now I was gonna wash everything out into this bucket, but I can't carry it back to the car now without any sort of security or certainty, so I'm thinking I might carry this back to the car as is and clean it out at home. What I can say with absolute certainty is we completely filled the rocker box with black sand. If you want to know how much gold Senor Sweatpants got, I'll leave a link to his channel down below. This video will be out sometime in the future. But for now, I'm gonna eat some jerky, then I'm going home and I clean this monstrosity up. Since filming that video, so much has happened. I have not one, not two, not even 3, but 5 buckets from that area. It was one of the richest areas we've found in Reedy Creek in over 3 years. Between Gadsy and I, we've pulled almost an ounce of gold. And the way up you're about to see isn't the richest way up we did by far. It's actually the poorest. So if you would like to see the best results from this spot, one of which is over 6 grams in a single day, please consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on all notifications. That way you won't miss out on any future uploads. A massive thank you to Prince by Penny for creating this amazing custom logo gold pan. That's what my gold looks like after a few buckets. I'm pretty happy with that result considering the pay layer was very thin and on the bedrock. I'm just excited to know how much I got because I know this is one of the poorest spots in that area. Moment of truth, I reckon we're over 2 grams. I already know that Gadsy got a 6 gram day. So I'm real keen to know what a poor section of ground in this spot is actually yielding. Oh, maybe we're not over the 2, we're over 1. Oh, come on. So damn close, 1.95. 1.95 grams of gold is worth over 200 Australian dollars at the time of recording. But you just wait till you see some of the gold we're getting from that spot. I mean, it's all done now, and that's why I'm releasing the videos. Oh, and like, that is one ginormous agate.